and welcome back. My name's Claire Howard. If you haven't been here before, then a very warm welcome to my channel, and if you're a returning viewer, then it's great to see you back. You will be excited about this video. So today's video is one I have been requested for several times, and I think it's a great idea because I totally agree with anyone who's asked that lunch is the most probably difficult or problematic meal of the day when it comes to being on Slimming World or probably any diet plan really. So loads of you have asked, I struggle with lunch, can you do a vlog just on lunches? So here we are. We're just going to talk about lunch today. So I'm not actually showing any food or food preparation or cooking. It is just a chat through all of the different things that we can have for lunch. I've actually written lots down to try and help me keep on some sort of track and not miss out any important things that I have on my list. I have got loads of lunch ideas for you. So I'm hoping this is going to motivate you, give you some ideas if you haven't already thought of them, and get you on the right track and help you get those lunches prepped and just make life a little bit more easy. I always struggled with lunch, and the reason I struggle with lunch is I'm a sandwich and crisps girl. Like, my lunch would tend to be where I've worked. I work in a salon, so it generally is, we used to be next door to a bakery, running next door to the bakery and picking up a roll, a bottle of Pepsi Max and a bag of crisps. Now I'm near a co-op, so same thing. I would go for a meal deal every single time. So it's breaking those habits, isn't it? And one of the biggest keys to not failing your Slimming Well plan when it comes to lunch is preparation. Preparation is absolutely key to all of your Slimming Well plan, because if we prepare our food and we know what we've got our shopping in, we've got our ideas, we've got our food plan, there is so much we can have. Like, the sky's the limit really. There's nothing you can't have if you modify it to a Slimming World way. If you don't plan, and this is where I've had a shortfall before, if I don't plan and I turn up to work and I've got a busy day, I toddle myself over to co-op and I look around the shelves and pre-made food. Let's think of what is in the shop which is pre-made. Straight there is our sandwiches, our sausage rolls, our Cornish pasties. What is there that we can just grab in a shop and eat on the spot without needing to make it? I mean, you've got your fruit, but if I'm hungry, I don't want an apple for lunch. You've got your salad. Pre-made salads, I mean, they can be okay as long as you don't use the sachet of sauce in there, or you know how many syns that is, because they can carry, like, I used to love the tuna pasta salads from Asda. I've never actually looked to see how many syns there, but there was so much mayonnaise in there. I mean, that was probably what made them so good, when you mixed all that mayonnaise in. So even salads can hold a lot of syns when it comes to pre-made food. There is not a lot of low syn or low calorie pre-made convenient lunches that we can just nip in a shop and buy on a spur of the moment. So that is why our preparation and getting our food in order is what we need to do for lunches. So I'm going to go through my list of lunches and all of my different ideas that I have put down on paper for you today. So grab yourself a cuppa, sit down, and let's talk lunch. Obviously, one of the main factors that gets in the way of our lunch is the fact that we're at work. Now, we've all got different jobs, so you may be on shifts, you may be like me and have very, very short lunch breaks, you may be out and about traveling between different venues or cars. Whatever you're doing for work, lunch, you know, is one of those things that you need to have prepared and you need to have it with you. If you're going to go into a shop and buy lunch, then you need to have an idea of what you're going to go and buy. But we're talking about lunches that we're going to prepare, that we're going to take with us, that are just going to make our life that bit easier. So we're going to start with sandwich and crisp girls like me. So you have your Hex B that you can use on a Slimming Well plan, and providing that you aren't incorporating a Hex B into your dinner or breakfast, obviously if you are having a second Hex B, you can use that in your syn allowance, but we're going to use Hex B lunches as an example now. So when I first started Slimming World, there weren't many breads, and I don't think there were as many options for Hex Bs that you can have now. There are endless options, so we can have a sandwich and crisps. So I'm going to go through some of my favourite Hex Bs. I have grabbed some out of my freezer and I've got some packaging. So one of my favourite Hex Bs that is great to use for lunch is this loaf. This is a full-size loaf and it is from Aldi. It's the Aldi Essentials Wholemeal Medium Slice Loaf. You can have 2 slices of this bread for a Hex B. When I was checking in Asda the other day, I think a lot of them are like 7 or 8 syns a slice. So check your bread, because sometimes we need to shop around, and I do that. I go to Aldi for certain things. I'll get certain things from Sainsbury's and certain things from Asda. So if you want to have a variety of food, it's going to be advisable to have a little monthly trip to Aldi and pick up the bits there that are handy. So this Everyday Essentials loaf, it's a nice wholemeal loaf. You can make a full-size sandwich with that. I freeze this, I keep it in the freezer because the rest of the family don't eat it, and I've done it before where it's in my cupboard, it goes to waste because I'll realise I can't have a sandwich for lunch because I've used my hex beef for breakfast and things like that. So this can make you a full-size sandwich, okay? Other hex beef options we have got, again, these are frozen because I keep them in my freezer. Got the Warburton soft pitters, another wholemeal option. So one of these is your hex beef, and these are really nice. I enjoy those a lot. You have got your Weight Watchers wraps. Now one of these wraps is a hex bee. Again, a really good alternative if you want a wrap or a sandwich to take to work. And then we have these wholemeal muffins. I get these at Sainsbury's. The Weight Watchers wraps I think I've picked up at Sainsbury's, Asda and Tesco's. I'm pretty sure, as with the Warburton soft pitters. These are just a Sainsbury's thing. I haven't found anywhere else that sells the muffins that are a hex bee. So what can you put in your sandwich? Anything. You can put anything in a sandwich, can't you? Get your tins of tuna out, pre-cook some bacon. A BLT is a really nice one to have. You've got your Hellmann's Lighter Than Light mayonnaise, which I believe is, 1 second, 1 cent a tablespoon for this one. So a couple of bacon medallions, all visible fat removed, sliced tomato, lettuce, and some mayonnaise in your Aldi wholemeal loaf. That is an awesome sandwich to take to work for lunch. Obviously tuna salad, you've got ham and 40 grams of cheddar from your cheese allowance. Endless. There's so many free foods. You can put so many things in a sandwich. I don't need to take you through your sandwich fill-ins, but finding those hex bees that you can use to make your sandwich is the most important part of that. Then what can you take to go with your sandwich? Hula hoop puffs. These are one of my favorite crisps, but I am gonna add pictures of a couple of other crisps and Snacker Jacks and things that I scanned in Asda the other day, which are also low sin. I know the Walker's baked crisps are about 5 syns. So if you're a crisp person, I love crisps, and I think 3.5 syns for a packet of crisps and a sandwich for lunch is amazing. So my sandwich can be totally free if I'm not putting any sauces or anything in it. And crisps, 3.5 syns, sandwich and crisp for lunch. You haven't got to miss out on your favorite thing. So I love a sandwich, one of my favorite things. If I'm not using a hex bee for my evening meal or breakfast, then a sandwich is a great lunch idea. Next, let's think of convenience things, because I've been living off these for the last couple of weeks. It's always great to stock your cupboard up with tins and dried food because they just last, don't they? So when you run out of everything else, you have got them there. So some of my favourite convenience food for lunches. So this can be for at work or it could be at home. Super noodles. If you've got a microwave at your workplace, it's a very quick thing to chuck in the microwave and do. They take about 5 minutes. These are, I believe, 2 syns a pack. I'll pop the syns on the screen. Also convenient for you if you're just home or you've nipped home for lunch, you've got nothing else. Really quick and easy lunch. So another work lunch is your tinned things. I've got here stag chili. This is 1.5 syns. I'll put the syns on the screen for all of these. Then you have got your soups. Chicken noodle soup, oxtail soup, vegetable soup. These are all low synned soups and great to take for lunch. I have a show flask. This is my flask. I use this all of the time. It is, because I've been asked this a few times, it's the 530 milliliter one. And this fits in a whole tin. I've used it for leftovers, which we'll speak about in a minute, but it is great to take to work. If you're busy and on the run and you need your lunch to be there and ready for when you're ready to have it, like my lunch break can often just be 10 minutes, could be 5 minutes, and I can just go in there, open this up, it's hot, spoon down the food, and I'm done. I've had my lunch. Really handy. Okay, so things that can go in here are your soups, your stag chili, anything hot that you want to take to work, pop it in your flask. It's another really great key thing to have. There's been days where I've got no food in and I just have a look, there's a tin of mushy peas in the cupboard. Mushy peas are another great thing that you can put in here. So that is like convenience foods that are just there in your cupboard. You're in a rush in the morning, bung it in your microwave. in your flask and it is there and ready for you. Other pasta options are mug shots. These are great, they're quite low syn. Naked noodles are another really great one to check out. They are quite low syn. Again, check your flavors because the syn values do vary. I'll look them up and I'll try and pop some of the syn values of those onto the screen. But for convenience, those things are really good. So low fat, not the regular ones, low fat super noodles, naked noodles. Uncle Ben's rices are another good thing. They are very low in syn. Again, check the flavors, but 2 minutes to ping in a microwave. If you've got a microwave at work, you can just eat that out of the bag of rice, nice and easy. They're just things that if you haven't planned and you haven't got your shop in, you can have them in the cupboard and they are easy to fall back on. Right. So other good foods that we can take to work. In theory, bulk cooking would make all of our lives easier. And you don't know the amount of times that I've bought myself some mince in and some vegetables and I've said, I'm going to bulk cook a huge pasta bolognese and then that will be my lunch for the week, and then I forget about it, which is when it's then handy to have those tins in the cupboard to fall back on it. But when I do remember, it is awesome. You can just spend half an hour one day making up a huge bolognese and pasta. You can either freeze some or put it in separate lunch boxes and put that in the fridge, and every day you've just got to grab one of those lunch boxes. Equally, you could do a tuna pasta salad. You could make a huge tortilla. It's one of my favorite things to do. I haven't done it in a while because obviously I haven't had my hob, but I like to make a big vegetable tortilla. So it's just like 6 eggs whipped up, and then I'll cook up peppers, onions, mushrooms and some potatoes, layer that all in, pop the egg mix on, cook it through, and it's a sin-free, really filling, nice lunch because you can cut that in a few slices, lunchbox it up and put it in your fridge. So the more food you can have prepared, the easier your life becomes. I think as long as you've got backup plans and you've got preparation, you are okay. It's when you don't have any of that that it is a problem. When you're hungry, you're on a limited time and you're just popping into a convenience store, that is when you're going to struggle to pick up some food. If you go into a big supermarket, you might be all right because you've got your pre-packed fruit, you've got pre-packed like colder salads and stuff, so that may be a bit easier for you. But when you put yourself in that situation, for me, that is when I fail. If I've got the food there, you've got your bulk cooking options, you've got your sandwich options, you've got your tinned options, there's always an option, okay? So as long as you grab something before you leave for work, that is okay. And all of these things can be done in the morning, like I have just said about. I know we don't have a lot of time in the morning, but I'm always in a rush in the morning. I have 2 kids to get ready for school. I've got 2 dogs that pretty much I do most mornings take for a walk around the block. So whacking a sandwich together or heating something up in the microwave to put in my flask is just done in between other things. Like heating it up and putting it in your flask is probably the easiest option, isn't it? Obviously, if you're doing sandwiches, make sure you've got your tin foil in to wrap it. Don't make yourself a sandwich and find out you can't actually take it to work. That would be so annoying. So next we're going to talk about what we can put in our lunchbox. So I have a huge selection of lunch boxes in my cupboard. If you haven't got any, you might want to stock up on some, just regular lunch boxes. Get some different sizes because I like to have some smaller pots for my fruit or cheese or whatever you're going to take. The ones, I think they're called a bento box or something, the ones with 3 or 4 sections are really handy. If I'm ever going out with my sister in the summer, she seems to be the person we put in charge of doing lunch, and she'll do us a little lunch in one of these boxes. So we'll have like, say, our little prawns in one section, our salad in another section, then we'll have some chopped up cheese or olives or something in another section. So they're really nice to take into work with your lunch if you want to separate everything and not just have everything chucked in one box. Salads are a really nice option. Not so much for this year, like I wouldn't be taking a salad to work at the moment, but if you do enjoy a salad, it's an all year round thing, isn't it? But coming into the summer, I almost always take salads into work. So my salads would include, like, I'm never just going to eat lettuce. I like quite a chopped up salad. So chopping up your salad and having it prepped in the fridge is quite a good idea. Oh, where's my choppy salad maker? Last year, I got one of these. I'll pop one in my Amazon store and link it below. And it is amazing for chopping up your fruit and salad. Like, so if I'm having a salad, I really like the finely chopped cucumber, tomato, onion, even some mango, and then pop in some fresh herbs like some basil or some mint or something. It is really nice and tasty. So you can pre-chop using something like that or just a knife, but chop it and then pop it in a sealable container in your fridge, and then you can dish it up each morning. Again, it's time saving in the morning. You're more likely to do it if it's prepped. If you've got to chop up your whole salad in the morning, you are less likely to do that. So that is again where preparation is going to come in. Nice things to add to your salad would be a low-fat salad cheese like a feta. The low-fat ones come in quite low syn. You've got hams, you've got your cold meats. You could pre-cook or bulk cook some chicken or something that you can chop up and put up on your salad, maybe even some bacon, like a chicken and bacon salad. You can use your mayonnaise. Again, you're gonna have to measure the syns on that, but you can add that. You can get these tiny pots online that you can put your sauce in, so you can add your sauce separately to your salad later if you don't want it all mixed up in your lunchbox. Pickles are great to put on your salad, like pickled onions, actual pickles, beetroot. They all add flavour. There are some great like red slaws out there that you can get. I know Tesco's do one which I believe is sin free. So, and salad toppers as well. Oh, I forgot about those. They were really nice. I'm sure they're called salad toppers, and they're a pickle and they are round on like the jarred pickle section. Take your phone with you and go around the supermarket and scan some of these things. You'll discover some proper gems, because I'm not one for a plain salad. I find salad quite boring. It has to be quite a nice dressed up salad for me to enjoy that, and that is the key to this, isn't it? Making your food interesting and tasty. No one wants to eat boring food. So salads in a lunchbox is another really good idea. Also in your lunchbox, if you for instance are cooking a bolognese or a pasta dish and you've got leftover sauce, save that sauce, don't chuck it in the bin, and then boil yourself up some pasta. You can have that cold pasta with the leftover sauce the next day. Again, leftover bologneses, anything like that, if you have got a microwave at work, are absolutely perfect. So I've pretty much gone through most of the lunch ideas that I can think about. I will link the relevant products that I think would be useful to you or helpful from my Amazon store in the description box. I hope that's helped you. Obviously, the main theme of the lunches I've spoken about is lunches that we're taking to work with us or while we're out and about, because I think that's when we struggle, isn't it? When we're at home, lunches are just that bit more easier. I've just remembered I forgot one of the most essential lunches, which is the jacket potato. They are so versatile. Again, you can bulk cook these, you can freeze them, so you've just got to heat them up in the morning. You can then either just take it to work and heat it in a microwave at work, or if you're at home, you can just pop it in the microwave in the air fryer and cook yourself an amazing jacket potato for lunchtime. All of the ideas that obviously I've said for taking to work are 100% practical for at home. Being at home should make it that little bit easier, because you've just got all of those things and you haven't got to take the time to make them in the morning. Let's just talk about some snacks that we could also take in with our lunch, because lunch is one thing, isn't it? But if your lunch hasn't filled you up and you want to have some little extras to go with it, things like yogurts, Muller Light yogurts or ski yogurts, I think they do some quite low syn varieties. You've got your Hartley's 10 cal jellies, which is another great little complement to take with your lunch. Snack wise, you've got your Baby Bell Lights, which you can take. So 3 of those are a hex A. I think they are a really good little snack. I often take these to work with me. We've got chickens, again, another nice little complement that you can take with you and have very low syn alongside your lunch. It's all those little snacks and things that once you know which ones you like and you remember the syn values, it makes your life a lot easier. Again, things like the Baby Bells and the chicken are things that you can grab if you're out about in a supermarket and you're caught short. They are snacks, and you could put them together with a pot of salad or something that you could buy, and that would give you a lunch. I always recommend, like I've said, using your Slim and World app and going around and scanning the food, seeing what's available, and then you'll find new foods. If you haven't got the app and you're just watching vlogs and YouTube, or even if you have got the app, I think it's a good idea to start a little notes on your phone, and you can put your favourite snacks down there and write the syn values next to them. So that's just a handy guide for you in future. If you are in a shop, you can just look it up. Yeah, so I hope that's given you a few ideas for lunch. It's helped me actually, just sitting down and writing it down and having a think about it, because lunch is one, not that I struggle for ideas with, it's if I haven't prepared and I haven't thought about what I'm going to have, when I'm just stood in the kitchen thinking, oh, what am I going to take for lunch? The tins are my favourite backup. I'm going to tell you that now. All through the winter, that is what I've pretty much had, stuff in my show flask. I haven't mentioned one of my favourite lunches. I meant to stop at Food Warehouse today, but I forgot on the way home. If you haven't tried the Slim & World meals that are available at Iceland and the Food Warehouse, then I would highly suggest that you try them. They do these little lunch pots here, and these fit perfectly into the show flask. They take about 15 minutes, most of them, 10-15 minutes to heat up in the morning in the microwave. They are so tasty. They are really, really nice. Like, you wouldn't think that you are eating sort of a pre-made food. They're really good and they are sin-free. So quite often I will have like 10 of those in my freezer, and I'll just take one of those heated up every day in my show flask for work. Another, just, yeah, I think they're really nice for lunch. I just haven't stocked up in ages, and I can't wait. Again, when I move in, I will definitely be stocking up on them. They do some really good meals for the evening as well, but we're not speaking about that. We're talking about lunch. So I hope you've got a lot of lunch ideas. So look up your Hex Bees. I've given you a few. I will try and add some more on the screen if I can in the relevant sections, just to give you ideas. So my top tips are, if you're not using your Hex Bee for breakfast or dinner, a sandwich and a crisps for me is my favorite sort of lunch. So get your sandwich fillings in. You've got all of those sin-free options with your meat and your salad. You'll just need to sin your sauces. I don't put any butter on. If you do add butter, you will need to sin it. You can use a flour or lighter, and that isn't too many sins per teaspoon. Remember to stock up on some convenience next time you do your shop. Get in the chilies, get in the soups. Remember to scan them because the flavours do vary, and don't mix up the stag meat chili with the veg one, because that is 9 sins versus 1.5, and you don't want to be doing that. And yeah, I hope it's given you lots of ideas. I'm thinking maybe do the same sort of thing for a breakfast vlog. If you'd like to see that, then pop me a little comment saying, yes, please, we'd love a breakfast vlog, because got lots of ideas for breakfast too, and I'm sharing my evening meals all the time, so we could do one to evening meals, but that's just kind of what I'm doing daily anyway. And apart from that, I'll see you in the next one, guys. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, if you are on a Slim World journey and you've enjoyed this vlog, like and subscribe, because there will be many more coming, and I'll